Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to see a full room again this week. Hello, Zoomers. We miss you. Come and see us sometime soon. We're glad that you still are here joining us. Glad to see these smiling faces, and I think this is going to be a really exciting program today, so thank you for being here. Please remember to silence your cell phones and keep conversation to a minimum because the voices do carry a little bit. We want to make sure everyone can hear the entire program today. So I'd like to invite Luke Hellia, who's going to do our inspiration and then also lead us in the pledge, four-way test, and introduction of guests. So you're going to get the podium for a little while, Luke. Come on up.
Today, we're celebrating veterans. The indomitable United States of America that we have all come to know and love has depended absolutely on a strong military, striving not only to defend our own territory, but to defend the lives and interests of people worldwide who yearn for the rights of self-determination. At this point in the 21st century, some are saying America is not so great anymore. But don't tell that to the veterans. But any perceived shortfall in greatness is not a lack of dedication and sacrifice and selflessness from those who ably serve at the front line. In his book, The Times of Our Lives, Tom Brokaw wrote, "In every century since our founding, we have been the beneficiaries of incredible sacrifice and selflessness in the face of great odds from our military guardians. But each of us, not just those in the military, has a fundamental obligation to continue and contribute to the well-being of all. We can't insist that our defenders of the faith carry the entire load. It's time for all the rest of us to re-enlist as fully participating citizens. Our defenders need and deserve our full support and respect. Please join with me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Let's be seated. We do have a number of guests to recognize today. We have Ed Gibson has a guest. Thomas Trades. Ed Gibson.
Nice sprint, Greg. I have with me three guests today. Thomas Travis, stand by Thomas is a judge with the circuit court, and he presides over our electricity treatment court program here in Dade County with me and John Marsden, our mentors. And then I have also with me Susan Lamb, who is our Dade County clerk. Susan and I will go way back for both panels, but I'm not going to say how old. And then I have Chris Nettinger, who's standing over there. Lieutenant Colonel Chris is Army Reserve and served under General Adams. So I thought, and I know his wife Marie, who is the greatest physical therapist in Dade County, probably the world. But Chris assures me that he served under General Adams and he has relished every moment of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Right. Brett Anderson has a couple of guests. Brett.
Thank you. We have a great day for guests today, and I'd like to have Ben Adams and Harris Miller, please.
Yeah.
General Adams and Harris. Thank you.
Okay, and Bruce Bell has a guest, John Thurston.
Got my good friend John Thurston here today. John's a retired police officer, special investigator at the U.S. Attorney's Office. Just this last year, I was honored to be at his ceremony for being selected to the Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame. And he's here also with his lovely wife, Lindsay. Stand up. She's going to introduce the program. Judge Thurston is a colleague of mine, an outstanding judge who keeps me in line. I appreciate her every day. So I think she's interested in joining our club.
Okay. Jeremy Mailer has a guest. Jeremy. This one.
What's his name?
Sure.
What's the guest name?
Guest name, I have no idea. T.O.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He's- Yes. Sorry for the whole name.
Archie Thomas, welcome.
And Jenny Schnur has a guest.
Well, I'm speaking for Dylan, but they were made today. This is the second lunch meeting, and she's also come to our morning mixer. She did a great introduction, and we are hoping that she will also join us and be part of our club.
And Denver Ratliff, Chris Campbell, a guest.
Yeah, then, that's, the 46 solution a couple of months ago. So we haven't made it to a Friday morning fixer, early morning fixer, 46 solutions you need to. Meet guys like Denver, he's in northern, Ohio. He moved across the border, the steel border, the steel power, and loves living here, engaged to be married, and be married on November 1st. And we hope to be a member. Junk Magicians is who he represents, and if you've got a bunch of junk laying around, they can make it disappear.
And finally, Guy Bradley, a guest of Bob Miller. Thanks to all our guests. Please come back and join us. We welcome you at any time. Okay.
It's great to see so many guests. Good job, Rotarians. Next, I'd like to invite Kevin Weaver up to our gambling portion of the program. All right, so what's the pot?
$9.94.
$9.94 ace of clubs, correct? I want to see if I won first. Is that legal? I did buy a ticket. See, check it.
Oh,
I cannot
draw your
believe,
ticket?
yeah, I did draw my ticket. Oh, maybe I should play the lottery. It was 60691199119. All right, so what if I win? Then I'll feel really guilty. But not that bad. Right suit, wrong card. All right, let's draw the second number.
Here's your dollar.
Oh, we can donate this back. All right. The second, oh my gosh, redraw that. It was me again. I yeah, cool.
Stir it up.
Oh my gosh, I never get to, I mean, and all these legal people in this room. I cannot believe that. Okay, 9115. 9115. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Oh, come on. Who? Oh, Sharon. Yeah.
No.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, donate this back. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I was really lucky. So celebrating birthdays this week. Barry Stumbo, Dan Kett, Mike Delzotti, and today's birthdays, Rob Kirkpatrick. Happy birthday. And birthdays for next week, because it is the third Thursday next week, is Edwin Gibson and Sharon Reed. Happy birthday, Rotarians. I'd like to invite Chris Hickey and Dean Hammond to the podium to give us an overview on RILA.
You know, we have so many things going on in Rotary. A club this size, you can't know every one of those committees that are doing all this work. And this is one of those briefings where you get to find out what we're doing in the field with the money that we take in to the endowment from the district as well. Well, one of the biggest, the only fully district-wide project that we have is RILA, Rotary Youth Leadership Awards. And Rotary Youth Leadership Awards we've been doing for a while, and you'll see that in just a second. But that's the purpose of this briefing, is to talk to you about what we're doing with RILA. The vision here is, the idea is that we're going to be able to provide an adventure experience for students in an outdoor environment where they can get a lot of challenges and to enhance their own self-awareness, their own strength, their own self-reliance, and learn that they're important. And the mission here is to take these 8th graders out, give them an experience in the Life Adventure Center, and give those 8th graders an opportunity to develop their leadership skills where they would not normally get that opportunity. It's very important here. They would normally in school not get this opportunity, the folks that we have out there at the Life Adventure Center, to inspire them to become leaders, and again, to give them more self-awareness and self-importance. Now, we've been doing this a while. This is just a historic breakdown of all the years we've been doing it. We started out at Camp McKee and then moved over to the Life Adventure Center 3 years later. And you can see the teams that we've had and the number of students that we've had on these. And again, this is district-wide. We called from Fayette County as well as a district-wide on all of Eastern Kentucky. And we have a lot of those students, and you'll see where they all came from in just a second. But we got a long history in doing this. We copied it after what the RILA was in Western Kentucky in the 6710 district. and went out there a year before we started it here. Now, this is the organization that we had, and you can see the team breakdown, and I won't sit here and just list all of those clubs, but you can see the clubs, the number of clubs that have sponsored these students and brought them in to be part of this, this project. And we want to get more of the clubs involved around the district as well to get more of the students in there. Now, the concept here is we're going to start early in the morning, and it's a hard road for some of them to get here early in the morning and show up that early, get registered, and get organized in teams. And then we do a round robin, and Chris will talk about all that in just a second, the round robins that they do. And then we have the amazing race, which is a phenomenal thing, and they really get into it. And then the award, which is important as well. Now, this is a sequence of events that occurs. Now, I want Chris to come up here and go over all the operations. Now, Chris is your committee chair here in the club, and he's the district chair for RILA as well. Beyond that, in a past lifetime, he was a commander of a brigade combat team in Iraq. So he's got all that experience as well. So, Chris? What's up?
Hello. So the day starts out with our governor welcoming all the students. She gives kind of a brief overview of Rotary, but how RILA connects to that. And then Dean talks them through what he just did with you, the vision and the mission and what's going to happen throughout the day. Then we split into our teams, do some team building and learn each other's names and things like that. Oh, let me tell you our other leaders. Judy Worthy, can you stand up? Did an incredible job leading one of our teams again. Up there in the upper right, Edwin Gibson, can you stand up? Thank you very much. It's Michael. Michael, our photographer, drone operator, all these pictures are his, so incredible. And then Dean talks the students through our ethical framework, which is Code of the West. The big one that they'll definitely see is live each day with courage, which we, as they're trying to decide whether to go up a 60-foot wall, you know, they have to get some courage to do that, and they all did. And we enforce it all throughout the day. It's on the back of their shirt. We constantly reinforce it all day. And at the end of the day, they get a RILA coin with a Code of the West on the back. So the coveted RILA coin. And I talked to him through a leadership framework model. And we split into teams again, talked leadership, and enforce that throughout the day. And then we link up with our Life Adventure Center team. Very highly qualified instructors, very good motivators. The kids really enjoyed working with them. And when we start our round robin in the morning, we have some kids doing vaulting with the horses with the horse program, archery, and then climbing up the 60-foot wall and then rappelling down the other side. And I'll show you some pictures of that. And there's the horse program. Really nice horses at the Life Adventure Center, great instructors. Really beautiful place. And then you can see them climbing up the wall, and then the hard part is, I think, is coming down. Sometimes they take a little while to talk down, but we always get them down. Whoops, sorry. And these are from a drone, thanks to Michael. You can see you can see how, get a perspective of how tall it is. There they are at the top. A couple climbers, students about to hit the top. And then archery, and then they have a challenge thing they have to solve as a team. And then we have lunch, do another cycle of what you just said there, and then we do our amazing race, where we have, I don't know, about a dozen activities, points they have to find, including a canoe, various challenges. They get get to go back up the rappel tower again. That takes about 2 hours. And they're all over the place. It's kind of a challenge for us to keep up with these 8th graders. Congratulations to Edwin Gibson's team this year, the blue team who won. So good job there, Edwin. Yeah. Yeah. And then here's the graduation at the end where they get the coveted coin. And then lastly, we could use help. Some places where we need help. Preparation for RILA. RILA takes about 12 hours that day. I probably spent about 4 times that during the year talking to schools, district clubs and stuff. And that's where we can really use help. So if you don't have time that day, this is something you can do from your home and really help us have a district rep who can communicate with the district clubs, keep them informed, and then about 4 people to help us recruit in the middle schools. That's where the bulk of the effort goes. And then also building a RILA website would be very helpful, or a page off our website. And during RILA, we need 4 wranglers, a Rotary volunteer for each team, and then 4 people to help us with the amazing race. So that's it. Any questions for us? Thank you for the support all these years. Over to you.
Thank you. What are we doing right now? Try to do something. You know, our club has so many committees, as Dean said, and we have some tremendous individuals like Dean and Chris that just do it, and it's going on in the background. And thank you for taking time to share everything that you guys have been working on. And please, Rotarians, sign up to help them. We need more bodies doing more things. So thank you so much. I'd like to, are you gonna come up? Yeah, I'll invite Brett Anderson to come up and talk about this Saturday's grand event.
Thank you, Madam President. I know we're a little over on time, so I want to be brief to get the Brigadier General Adams up and speaking. We've had an amazing amount of success in preparing for Dancing with the Lexington Stars this weekend. We're 100% of our sponsorship goal, in large part to Alicia Chafin. Thank you so much for your efforts. We're sold out, and hey, how about that? Thank you. The 2 areas we could use your help is bourbon tomorrow between 10 and 2 at the Rotary office, and Saturday 10 and 2 at the Carrick House. You can drop off bourbon there for our bourbon bowl. Lastly, but not least, you can also vote for dancers. You can just donate to the event on dancelexstars.com. We're gonna knock them out this weekend. Thank you.
And if you can't attend, you can live stream and watch and bid and vote and that type of thing. And then also there are 4 tickets that became available because we're sold out. So if anyone wanted to buy tickets and didn't have a chance, see me or let me know, and I'll make sure you can attend. One last announcement, and then we'll get to our program. Next week, remember, there's no meeting. We're doing Rotary differently. Saturday is the dance, so participate in whatever way you can and get your friends to have a watch party at your house. That would be fun. Thursday, for our guests, if you're interested in joining the club, Marcus Cross and Sean Lyons have been leading a small group lunch at the Rotary office. So we would love to invite you if you're interested. You can see Marcus or Sean Lyons or Peggy if you have any questions about that. Tuesday at 5:30, the West 6 Run Walk, casual meet and greet and fun, all levels of walking and running and meet up. That's a social thing we can do. Peggy will be there to get you started in the right direction, I guess. So to make sure. Though she has a broken foot, so she can't run or walk. She'll just guide people. Saturday, at 8 p.m., the honor flight welcome home, Bluegrass Airport. Contact Alicia Chafin if you have any questions about that. And then Saturday, May 18th is the district conference from 3 to 9, and that's actually sold out as well. We have quite a few club members that are volunteering and participating, so thank you for that. We also have a great program coming up on the 23rd. U.S. Navy Rear Admiral Craig Mattingly, a Kentuckian's update on what's new in the Navy. So hopefully you'll join us back at all of our guests and have a full room like this for that exciting program. And without further ado, I'd love to invite Judge Lindsay Thurston to the podium, please.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for having Honor Flight Kentucky here today. It is an organization about which I care deeply. Thank you for Alicia for extending the invitation to us. It is my tremendous honor to introduce to you a dear friend and our chairman of Honor Flight Kentucky, Brigadier General Benjamin F. Adams III, United States Army retired. General Adams has dedicated his entire life to our country. Serving with honor and distinction for over 40 years in the United States Army. A master aviator, airborne and air assault qualified, General Adams had many significant active duty assignments, including tours in Kuwait and Baghdad, Iraq. His service culminated in the positions as Deputy Commanding General of the United States Army, Aviation Center of Excellence, and the Assistant Adjutant General in the Kentucky National Guard. General Adams continues to serve his country in retirement. As I mentioned, he is the chair of our organization. He is also the chair of the Kentucky National Guard Memorial, the Joint Executive Council of Veterans Organizations. He has one toxic, fatal flaw, and I'm going to tell you what it is. He hails from Ole Miss. So much like the Buckeye in the room, around September, he'll start like spouting off things like hotty toddy. But it is my honor to welcome him to the stage to tell you more about our organization.
I know you're doing that because of Ole Miss, right? Hotty toddy. No, again, thank you very much, Alicia. Lindsay, again, thank you for the kind introduction and also the invitation. What I'd like to do first, I know we're kind of running short on time. I do want to show you a short video. But before we do that, can I see a show of hands of all the veterans in the audience? Please raise your hand. Outstanding. Again, thank you for your service and thank you for your family as well as supporting you during your service. So, sir, if you don't mind, let's go ahead and show the video real quick.
Hi, I'm Heather French Henry. I'm delighted to join you today in support of Honor Flight Kentucky. During Miss America 2000, I was able to raise money for the World War II Memorial. And today we're able to send our World War II, Korean, and Vietnam veterans, thanks to Honor Flight, to their respective memorials in Washington, D.C. Not too long ago, I was a guardian for my father, a Vietnam veteran, to be on an Honor Flight so I could take him to the Vietnam Wall. It was a life-changing experience for me and my father. You too can play your part, and there are many roles to play, whether it's going to the airport to send them off or welcome them home from an Honor Flight, or whether it's being a guardian, being able to escort one of our American heroes to their memorial, or being a sponsor where we can take many more of our American heroes to Washington, D.C. Everyone plays their part in helping to honor our American heroes. We need your support of Honor Flight Kentucky.
Honor Flight Kentucky's mission is to honor Kentucky's veterans for their service and sacrifice. Fly our heroes, all expenses paid, from Lexington Bluegrass Airport to Washington, D.C. to visit their memorials.
If I could describe the monuments, I have to say that they were awesome.
It just took my breath away. It was so rewarding for me to be there and do all those things.
Our goal at Honor Flight is to give these veterans a day that they will never forget. If we can give them that one perfect day, then we consider our mission a success.
I came close to having tears roll down my eyes because that was me standing there is exactly what I looked like when the conflict was taking place.
Being there with guys who could relate to some of the hopes and things that were going through your mind, we could talk about it. And that meant a lot.
Any Kentucky veteran who wants to see their memorial should see their memorial. Many of these men and women literally helped save the world. They deserve nothing less.
Anyone who has raised their hand to take the oath to support and defend our Constitution is eligible to go on an honor flight. Now, all the time we get asked the question, well, I didn't serve in combat, so am I eligible to go? And the answer is absolutely yes. We prioritize our manifest by war. World War II veterans come first, followed by the Korean War and then the Vietnam War. The exception is any veteran who has been diagnosed with a terminal illness will go to the head of the line.
Sadly, we are in a race against the clock. The youngest of our World War II vets are in their early 90s. Hundreds are dying each day.
One of the hardest things we have to do as ambassadors is when we call a family, call a veteran, and invite them to participate on an honor flight, only to find that they have passed away within the last week, the last month.
Each vet on the honor flight is paired with a guardian. Guardians are volunteers that provide assistance and help our veterans have a safe and unforgettable day. Unforgettable for the vets and guardian as well.
I was very fortunate to get to go as a guardian for my father. It's his brother Raymond. Also got to go. He served in World War II. My cousin went. He served in Vietnam, and it was a marvelous trip to get to be with them. Plus, sharing that experience with them was meant so much to me.
I had the honor to serve as a guardian a few times, to witness what the veterans experience firsthand. Oftentimes they say it's one of the best days of their lives. And I think anyone who's been a guardian would say the same thing.
So a lot of us never had any kind of a thank you for being in any kind of a conflict, whether it was from Korea, Vietnam, and it was just overwhelming.
If I was talking to a group of veterans, any group, I tell them they need to go. It was a great flight. I wouldn't take that.
None of this would be possible without the generous support of our sponsors. Honor flights rely on private donations and corporate sponsorships. We do not receive any public funds.
Kentucky's Textile Energy Cooperatives have been sponsors of honor flight for several years. It's really been a remarkable experience. We decided on this sponsorship because it was a great way to honor our nation's veterans. In many cases, those veterans are members of the communities that we started as electric cooperatives. So it's our way of saying thank you for your service.
It was a once in a lifetime type of thing, and I would tell every veteran, if you get a chance to go. It made me proud to be a veteran. And I think the honor flight even made me prouder because it gave me an opportunity to go see something that I never seen before.
After a long, exciting day, our vets come home to the hero's welcome that many never received. Family, friends, people of all ages turn out to say thank you. We invite you to become part of our Honor Flight Kentucky family. For a veteran, sign up and allow us to take you to see your memorials and to reminisce with others who were there. If you want to spend a day with a true American hero, then sign up as a guard. Or if you want to help with the departure or welcome home ceremonies, please sign up as a volunteer. This one day, this one flight, change your life.
They made this country a great country that it is today. And we need to get them there to show them that one last respect, that one last time we say thank you.
Well, again, thank you. This one? Okay. Again, thank you. It is really no greater honor to stand before you today and talk about the veterans that have served this nation so gallantly and diligently. You know, Honor Flight started, this is its 19th year. Over 300,000 veterans have been taken to Washington, D.C. over those 19 years. Honor Flight Kentucky started in 2016. There's 2 honor flights in the state of Kentucky. There's one Honor Flight Bluegrass in Louisville and Honor Flight Kentucky in Lexington. We kind of divide the state equally. The gentlemen you saw up there, George Campbell and Phil Pittman, they began back in 2008 with Honor Flight Bluegrass, and they're from this area. They saw the need as Honor Flight began to grow in importance across the nation, that they needed to start one here. And they did that. That first flight, the one that you just saw on the video, was done in the fall of 2015. And after that, Honor Flight Kentucky started in the spring of 2016. Since then, we've flown over 1,600 veterans here in the eastern and central part of the state. You know, even with COVID, and unfortunately, we did lose a lot of veterans during that time frame, we still have continued to search out for our World War II, Korea, and Vietnam veterans. As indicated, the World War II and the Korean veterans are passing on a lot quicker than we would like. There's only about 120,000 World War II veterans left out of 16 million. They're dying almost 200 a day. So you can do the math and know that within the next 5 years, we won't have any that are still with us. And Korea the same way. The age of those veterans are in their early 90s or late 80s, and they soon will be passed just about as quick. There's 1.7 million soldiers and sailors and airmen that actually served in theater during that time frame, but there was 7.1 million that were in uniform. As indicated in the earlier part of this video, it does not matter if you were in a combat zone or you just served. We want to honor those who've raised their right hand and worked so hard to defend this country and this nation. And we need to continue to do that. You know, it is a long day. Our next flight is 2 weeks. It's May 18th. And we have our veterans show at 4 o'clock in the morning. We take off somewhere around 7 o'clock in the morning, end up in DC, and spend the full day there. We hit all the major memorials: Iwo Jima, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Air Force. We also spend time at Arlington, and we have the privilege of selecting 4 veterans to lay a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. And this right there, again, the opportunity for these veterans to not only see and renew old friendships, they build new ones. At the beginning of the day, most of the veterans are very quiet. Some have reluctantly decided to go because they have a lot of reasons why they don't want to go to the memorials, especially the Vietnam Memorial. But by the end of the day, after we go through all those memorials, we go back to the airport, we do what we call mail call, and everybody that's been in the military understand how important that is. And you just see they get a new breath of energy. And they lighten up and they're laughing and they're joking and all these friendships that they've created and renewed, they're like a new person. And by the time they come home for the welcome home ceremony, it is amazing the difference these veterans act and see with their families. And I will tell you that there's nothing more important to have a family member come up and say that their family member that served is like a new person. And I mean, it brings tears to your eyes. And these veterans, men and women, both deserve more than what we have provided, this nation has provided, especially Vietnam. They had never received the welcome home that they so rightly deserved. And you will find out from every Vietnam soldier, airman, and seaman that go on these honor flights, you can see how much they appreciate that this nation has done something else for them to recognize their service. I've been in service all my life. I was born with an ID card. And I know what it was like to grow up during the Vietnam timeframe. But you know what? I didn't care how the country looked at the military. I knew it was my purpose in life to be in the military, and this was my course. And I was going to do no matter what it took to defend this country. And that's what these soldiers did as well. These things that we do for them, again, are not free. It's free to the veteran. They do not take any money out of their pocket for this trip at all. Only this is through all the kindness and the volunteers that we receive, but also the donations from different organizations and even individuals. And it is a very hard thing to plan. We fly 3 flights a year, basically from early May or late April, August, or September. We try not to get too far into the fall when it gets the weather gets kind of chancy. But we fly at a minimum 65 veterans every time. And every veteran has its own guardian. So that veteran has nothing to do other than just be there and enjoy the tour, the time with his fellow veterans. The food, the drinks, the plane trip, all of that is taken care of. And it roughly costs about $120,000 for every flight that we do. And it takes anywhere from 3 to 4 months to plan this out. Right now, as I mentioned before, we've flown 300,000 veterans throughout the time that honor flight's been in effect. There's still 55,000 veterans that we know of that have registered with other honor flights. And there's 122 hubs across the nation in 44 different states. We here in Honor Flight Kentucky, we have over 350 veterans that we still have on the waiting list. And the more we can fly, the more we know we can take care of the desire of these veterans to go up to DC. So we hope that if you know a veteran that has not been on an honor flight, that is served from World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, please have them go online and fill out that application, and we will get them on a flight. Now, if they have a health issue, we bump them up toward the front of the line because we want to make sure they get there before they're unable to medically. And we've had that happen. We've had people just come right up to the last day, but medically they just couldn't go. And that's unfortunate. So that's why we want to make sure that we identify these individuals as quickly as we can. I know in May, in a couple of weeks, we have 3 World War II and 6 Korean War veterans, and the rest are Vietnam veterans. So the veterans are still out there. And I know several other World War II veterans that are near 100 that want to still go, and they're still able to go, believe it or not. So with your help, we certainly appreciate the opportunity to pass this word out and share the information. You saw through the video, probably better than I can explain, on the enjoyment and the privilege it is to go on one of these and even to be a guardian. And we highly encourage those that have served in later conflicts, Persian Gulf, OAF, OEF, and to be guardians. Because right now we only focus on World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. I've done 12 flights, and I tell you, every one of them has been enjoyable. And I can't tell you how important it is to continue this mission until, unfortunately, we have no more that we can take. So with your help, being guardians, donations, finding veterans, and even yourself, if you're out there and is in one of those categories, again, you do not have to have served in conflict just during that time frame, being in uniform. We certainly welcome you, and hopefully you'll take us up on that offer. And I know it's getting right about quitting time here. So is there any questions that you may have of me? Yes, sir.
It's a very long day, and people with health issues, how do they manage the day, 7 to 11 p.m.?
We have a doctor with us on every flight. We have EMTs. We make sure that the veterans hydrate. We feed them breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We take care of them with kid gloves. And yes, we have some that sometimes by the end of the day, they just don't want to get off the bus because they're tired. But I tell you, when they get back to the airport and do the mail call, it's like somebody just pumped them full of sugar. They really do enjoy all these aspects, but pretty much you'd be surprised how resilient these veterans are from that early in the morning. And it will show up. We have to be there by 4 because we have veterans sitting there waiting for us, and we don't want them there until 5 o'clock. So they're anxious. They want to do it, and they will. Sometimes you see them napping between stops, but it really, they find that energy. They really do.
This is for them. Could you put in next week's field work to the address that you need in order to say contributions?
Yeah, we can put follow-up information.
And again, Alicia, thank you for inviting us to do this. I mean, yes, ma'am, I'm sorry. Well, we charter with American Airlines, and we basically charter 150 passenger airplane. They have 190 size airplane that we can do as well. But we have not done that. We would love to. I think our wheelhouse is about 150. I'd like to add another flight throughout the year. We can bid for flights throughout the year. We try to stay away from the real heat of the year in DC because it's been up there, you know how hot it can get. But we will try to do 4. And we've talked about that at our board meetings. Actually, we would love to do that. So yes, please. And we have our key sponsors we've had is Touchstone Energy. They typically do our early fall, and Toyota does our late fall. Our spring flight, we typically don't have a key sponsor, and we have different donor levels if somebody is willing to provide some larger funds. And again, we do this and I go out there and sell my wares. I sell myself for donations all the time, but just the plane alone is over $82,000. So the rest of that money goes toward the buses, police protection or assistance through the city, the food and so forth. There's no money that comes to Honor Flight Kentucky Board at all. It just goes all out to the veterans and those that go out to help volunteer this. Any other questions?
Well, are you able to stay for a few minutes?
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So we'll have General Adams stay here and answer some questions if you guys still had some things that you wanted to know, but we appreciate what a great program. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for being here, and we're adjourned.